that this Iranian promise was a lie.
Has actively engaged in terrorism.
C'est la dernière proue. Exacerbated friction between Tehran and the West.
Iran is lying.
More bad news for Iran and the Iranian economy.
I'm going to take you with me on a journey through Iran. Maybe you think of this country as the magnificent ancient land of the Persian Empire. Maybe you know its history of poetry, art, exotic food, breathtaking landscape. But let's be honest, many of you probably think of a place of danger, terrorism maybe, people who hate the West and practice a religion that seems very, very frightening. Can I speak on behalf of the people of the country? No, absolutely not. I'm just learning about this culture myself, and one trip, interviewing a handful of people, even individuals of different socioeconomic backgrounds and ages, is not a statistically adequate cross-section of a nation. But when you think about it, what one piece of work ever represents the full spectrum of a country and its people? At least in my case, you know there is no sponsor, no one paying me, no agenda other than to encourage curiosity and empathy for others. I didn't work with the tourism board, and I've admitted openly that I was actually quite undecided about whether to travel to Iran because I was afraid. But this is a story of how I went from fear and ignorance to understanding, awe, continued confusion, but ultimately sympathy for a humble, open-minded population with so much love to give.
When you wake up in the morning, what do you want from your life?
So Iran is a very safe country, and my dream is for the world to see this. How nice these people are, how laid back people we are.
Yeah.
We're not these ninja and crazy people you see on TV. We're people, like everyone else.
This is the woman who has been cooking for us last night and this morning. Thank you.
We know in the media and in the other country there is no good image of our people.
Yes.
We are going to be judged,
Yes.
but it's not all of us, you know?
Yes, yes.
And that's why people like tourists, because they found a tourist and traveler a link to show themselves to the world.
Sure.
From the media that Iranians are pro-terrorism, they want like war. It's the opposite, and we're peaceful, and we want to make peace with the whole world.
Welcome to our country.
Thank you. Merci, maman.
My visa hadn't yet processed, and the plan had been to catch an overnight ferry from Dubai across the Persian Gulf and arrive in Bandar Abbas. But it was said that I wouldn't be able to be issued a visa from Bandar Abbas, and so I had to fly by plane to Shiraz.
Hopefully I don't have any problems. Hopefully I get in.
The reason I was a little nervous, aside from it being my first time ever wearing a hijab, was because when I contacted the Iranian consulate months ago asking about a film permit, they wouldn't believe that I wanted to film a documentary for YouTube on Iran without anyone paying me. They said, you must be working for someone, you must have a sponsor. I didn't end up getting the film permit, and they advised me against filming. I put on my visa application that I was a teacher to avoid any questioning, but one look in my suitcase and they would see all of my professional cameras and tripods, and one Google search of my name and they would see online that I've been a journalist for 10 years, and I just knew that was going to make them suspicious. So I was nervous. But right from the moment I boarded the plane, Iranians were smiling and asking excitedly why I was traveling alone to their country, and I started realizing that perhaps some of my fears were unfounded. When I landed, the visa took an hour to process. The officials were super friendly, and all they wanted to do was point out that it would be my birthday in a few days and wish me happy birthday and thank me for celebrating it in Iran.
Next, please.
A kind woman from the plane helped translate the address of my hotel and then ended up coming with me in the taxi just to make sure I got there okay because nobody had heard of this hotel. It's called the Darbe Shazdeh Boutique Hotel, and I'd read about the owner, this very interesting woman called Faranak. I get out in this dusty alleyway, there's nothing but a car park, but then I push through the door into this oasis and all of my doubts disappeared. I am absolutely in love with Iran already. I was just on a plane and people were so kind to me, just even being on the plane, like so excited that I'm here and that I have interest in their country. I just had the most wonderful lunch in the courtyard, and then the owner, this incredible woman, I'll introduce you later, she says, I'm just going into town, would you like to come for a walk in with me? Of course, I mean, I would just go anywhere with her. I'm so excited.
What is this?
Smell it.
Is? Oh,
this
wow.
This is the smell of my city in
Wow.
10 days' time. The whole city smell like this. It's coming. It's the season of orange blossom. And this is the smell of Shiraz. So tonight I'm going to give you orange blossom tea. I don't know how many different tea I'm going to give you tonight. But so far, two. Borage and this one. You want to try?
It's good. Is it good?
They want to take a picture with you.
Oh, sure.
And that's very Iranian. You get that a lot.
Okay.
Everybody wants to take a picture with you.
So you're an artist?
Yes.
Yes. Fantastic. What type of art?
I sculpt.
Oh, fantastic. You're going to meet this very pretty, very talented artist. I'm so happy to be here. It's more beautiful than I could have ever expected. Ah, look at this. Yesterday, the owner Farah took me out into the market and we're walking through the street and it's just so alive and so beautiful. I had no idea it was going to be this beautiful. It's like poetry, and of course Persian culture has this history of poetry, of poets, and you see that and you hear it, and the things we've been eating. Oh my gosh, I can't wait to share everything with you.
I bring you your welcome tea.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you.
For the longest time, I wanted to do something for my country, my motherland, to show the world how peaceful and hospitable these people are. Media portray from Iran, it's not true. And people, they come to Iran, they don't come to stay in a 5-star hotel. Or if they want to go stay in a 5-star hotel here, Dubai, they go to Dubai. If they want to go to beaches. But here we get the most cultured and most sophisticated tourists of the world, which is, I consider us very lucky.
Yeah, so when you said that to me the other day, it's true. I never thought of it before, but one of the great reasons to travel in Iran is literally because of the types of tourists you meet.
Exactly.
And more to the point here specifically. Like, I mean, just the example today at breakfast. Breakfast finished a long time ago, but I just met this really inspiring couple. So you're from London? No?
London, yes.
Yeah. And honestly, they have the most wonderful children, and I really admire the way your parenting style is what I was first drawn to. What is your impression of Iran and traveling here as a family?
I think Iran's beautiful. When I started telling my colleagues at school whether, to go to Iran or not, they said, "Oh, be careful, there might be a bit of bombings and so on." But now we're here, it's been absolutely stunning. Yeah. And my kids have just enjoyed it. But you guys are super adventurous, no? Your husband was telling me you've been to, what, 50 countries or something?
I think something like that, about 50 countries now, yeah.
And you travel often with your kids?
We always, right from the start, we thought that we love traveling. We're not going to limit ourselves because of the children. We're just going to get them used to all of this and just see the world. And now in this trip, I really saw that they've actually learned so much. This has been such an educational trip here, as well as having so much fun. Yeah. They've learned so much. They became a lot more confident, trying out different foods, being in different environments, not always having to be in a comfortable environment. Yeah. It's been really, really amazing, and I'm really excited to do a lot more with them.
So what is your secret? Because it's one of the few families I've ever seen. You're all sitting down at breakfast, you're talking to each other. This is such a rare thing these days.
Technology.
But neither of them are on their phones at all. Yeah. They're playing. I mean, I'd forgotten what it's like to see children who play.
I know, you don't see it much.
I think encourage them to play at home as well.
Yeah.
Turn off the TVs, turn off your iPhones, iPads, and you take away your phone away from yourself as well, and just try to have that interaction with your kids. Very important. Yeah. And you'll explore a different way of life with them. Yeah. And you'll get them to kind of have a good communication with you and with each other.
I feel so connected to you because you have that similar question that I always have is like, where do I belong? And obviously being for me a lifelong expat and always traveling and feeling so connected with different people in different moments, but not feeling like I can find somewhere that connection that endures, a city that really makes me feel that, for a lifetime. But
I think after actually also talking to you now, I've realized that you don't have to have a sense of belonging to one particular place. I really think, you can just try and make yourself fit in different places. We have a bit of us here in Iran, we have a bit of us in Iraq, obviously England, and just we're all connected, I guess.
But how is it that
sounds a bit cliche?
It's true. But how is it that you guys are so adventurous? Because I hear about your travels, and you're so. I mean, you travel back to Iraq, and
we've gone back to Iraq a few times to kind of do some medical work there. We're both dentists, so we've gone back twice there to take some teeth out on orphans and so on. And again, we've taken our kids, and I've helped. Well, I've got my son and my daughter to help clean the area and talk to the little kids there.
Amazing.
That gives them a good sense of understanding of what they've got in the real world they live in, and what fortunate world they have compared to the unfortunate life that the orphans have. And that gives them a sense of understanding of the real world as well. And you get them involved in everything you do, and that way exploration would be part of their life, and hopefully by the end of it they'll become good, complete human beings. Yeah, that's our aim. I mean, as parents, that's what we want to do. We want to give them a good life that they could explore and help people at the end with it.
Yeah.
So that's what we aim for.
No, I'm honestly so inspired by you too, and this is why
I'm inspired by you.
No.
Everywhere you go, you'll always meet good people, and everywhere you go, you'll learn and experience, and that makes you a human being. And for us, I think that was the aim, is just to kind of just travel around and see what the world is. And this is a beautiful world that we live in.
Yeah, I mean, I think in all the places that we've gone and travelled to, we've never met people that were horrible.
I think it's like attracts like. I think you guys attract that. I mean, even this gentleman standing behind us here is like, no, but you obviously you had the same experience of me, no? You fell in love with this couple and this family, and then you ended up at a table for hours too. So obviously, I'm not the only one to have this.
You're good people, so.
Yeah, but we want to learn from different people. You know, every person you meet, and sit down and talk to, you just have so much to learn from them. And we really did. From you, from your friend, and
but many of your friends back in London think you're a bit crazy for taking your kids on the road.
For one, our families think we're crazy.
Oh really? Even closer.
I said to my family, we're travelling around, and they looked at me as, why would you be driving from Tehran down to Shiraz? There's nothing there.
Yeah.
What they didn't realise is how much history there is in Iran, how beautiful the country is.
Yeah.
And we've explored different things. We've seen history that has been 5,000 years old, and different dynasties and empires come through, and that makes us what we are today. So it's nice to learn about our history at the same time for our kids to see what history is all about.
And so it's just a fallacy then that kids are not going to find history interesting, that they have to have a phone in their hand, no?
It's not true. They. Yesterday they were fascinated with Persepolis.
Yeah.
Just throughout everything, we were teaching when we went into Isfahan and we saw the mosques that were built 500 years ago, and they actually found it fascinating.
Yeah.
We were showing them, that the designs. Look, this design is different to the design that was in this city. They actually really did find it fascinating.
But because you lead by example, because they see that you guys are so engaged and curious, and no?
I think you should try and sort of like mold them to how you want, rather than molding yourself around them.
Sure.
And limiting your life. We've always wanted. We've both travelled separately before we met.
Yeah.
And we both felt like, is this the end of our travelling adventure?
Yeah.
Or should we just carry on?
Yeah.
And we carried on. And I'm so happy we did.
And now I'm walking into town because I have to change some money over, which is quite difficult because obviously you can't get currency out of ATMs here.
Financially, we're not doing well.
Yeah.
There is all sort of sanction on us.
Sure. Do you feel optimistic about the future of tourism in Iran? Because obviously, like you say, the people who come here, you don't have to.
I mean, there is all sort of sanction on us. What else?
Yeah.
I mean, still people are coming. I don't know what else they can do against us.
Yeah.
But still people are coming, because I'm sure when you go back and when you have your film and people, I'm sitting relaxed and I'm telling them that.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh. Then on TV, on CNN or BBC or whatever, they were showing something else. How come?
Yes.
But that's not true, and this is so real and true.
Yeah.
A woman like me, a businesswoman in Italy, has different challenges than me.
Sure.
I have clients. I don't know how to collect my money. I have people, they want to book my hotel. I don't know how to get the confirmation to their booking. People want to come.
Yes.
I mean, when you want to travel to anywhere in the world, you use your credit card, you pay on payment installment. People, they've got to travel to this country, they've got to get cash in their hand. As an elder, you have your cash, you have your saving.
Yeah.
But the young people, they want to travel, they don't have a saving. They live on off credit cards, they need payment, but still they come.
Yeah.
They still come. So yes, I mean, they cannot stop people from coming to Iran. They can't stop them.
Farah, what is the dream for you? I mean, what is, when you wake up in the morning, what do you want from your life? It's a big question, but
it's a very good question, because I really dream of that. I want my city, I want people to be happier. I want to help the economy and the financial situation of my people. Charity is my passion. Politics is my passion too. I don't think I'm going to get to politics in Iran. The politics here, they don't, the politician or not. The politician everywhere in the world, are they very likable people.
Yeah.
But because I'm Iranian.
You got too much heart to be a politician.
And because exactly, if I have to sell my soul, and I'm not up for it. Charity work that I can change, that I can have impact again on people's life is something I really want to do. This country has so much to offer, and there's so much potential which has not been used properly.
I found myself drawn to the Vakil Mosque next to the bustling bazaar. It was built by Karim Khan, founder of the Zand dynasty in the 18th century, a time that is written in history as a chapter of peace, justice and prosperity, particularly for the city of Shiraz. It's definitely the time of day to come. There's just no one, and these days it's hard to find tourist sites where you can have a little moment of peace and really absorb the architecture or the art. And I came here this morning, and then I thought, no, I'm going to come back when the light is better for the camera, but it's also better just for the emotional experience. You can hear your footsteps on the stone, and it feels very spiritual, I guess. The call to prayer is so beautiful, but it's often used in TV shows and films as this emotional trigger for an establishing shot of the villains, the danger, the terrorists even. And I was thinking as I walked through the city alone, how difficult it is to divorce ourselves from this narrative cue. We hear it and instantly we tense up because we've seen so many narratives where this signifies danger.
What they show on the media, it's so unlike us. We're one of the safest countries on earth.
Right.
It's the most laid back. I mean, when I'm on a tube, I don't know, Paris or London, I'm always scared. But here, 2 o'clock in the morning, with nothing on me, I mean, I'm never scared because I know nobody would attack me. People, they have a strong faith.
Good morning. It's nice and early. I'm just, oh my gosh, is this a bakery? There's a bakery right outside my hotel. Didn't even see. Oh my gosh, let's go and see. I'm so excited. I love bakeries. This is an example. I was just in that bakery with all men. I was the only female, and I didn't feel threatened. I didn't feel uncomfortable. They just made me feel so welcome. They told me to come inside. And
Shiraz, Tehran,
Yazd, Tabriz,
Isfahan,
Women in Iran can vote, hold government office, own businesses. They make up more than 70% of Iran's science and engineering students. And as you will see, the hijab is worn in a much more casual way, with hair showing and without the chador, or the full body cloak covering, that you will see in Iran, but that is not mandated by law.
Small question, Farah.
Sure.
Yeah. How did you meet your husband?
He was doing the documentary for the group.
Yeah, because he's a filmmaker, no?
Yeah, and then my husband has, of course, green eyes, and he doesn't look even, he looks very Italian.
Okay.
Start talking to me. I'm like, he's a spy. Yeah. Oh my God, with this look, he speaks perfect Farsi. He gotta be spy because we Iranian are so We think whoever speaks Farsi, they're a spy. I don't know why. Because Farsi is a very difficult language, and you're willing to learn. There's got to be something to either. You want an Iranian wife or an Iranian husband, or you're a spy. It's not like English, everybody gonna learn, or Italian, you love and you go there. No, Iranian, in order to learn Farsi, you either gotta be a spy or you gotta be in love with someone Iranian. Then I asked him, how come you speak fluent Farsi? He said, I'm Iranian, Baba. My name is Jose, my last name is Raika. So I met him and we fell in love and we got married 6 months later.
What does he say he fell in love with when he met you?
This is a strong woman, so crazy, so loud, and then making everything happen.
Yes.
And not like, I think the fact I was full of life.
Yes.
And like, being very strong. Usually gay guy, they fall in love with me, but this time straight guy. Straight guy, they don't like a strong woman that much, you know that?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's true.
They're scared, they're like, oh my God.
Yeah, exactly. Let's just say it. Everyone is always asking about how women feel to be in a country like Iran.
Women are very respected in Iran.
Yeah.
To be honest, I mean, because I'm a woman, I always get away with so many things. I can scream and I can complain and I can get things the way I want and I can, not stay in line. They're like, oh, please come in the front of the line. They always offer me the seat.
Yeah.
I mean, in train, in taxi, everywhere. I mean, it's an advantage to be a woman in Iran, to be honest.
Yeah.
That's how I feel. I have court cases with few people, and I've been to court and I'm talking to judge and I'm fighting for my rights, and nobody ever treats me differently because I'm a woman and he's a man. I mean, I've never felt that. I mean, I've never feel I'm different than any other man in this.
And running a business, people respect you when you're doing business.
Of course, they're all scared of me. I raise my voice. if a guy raises his voice, perhaps they're going to call security on him. But they never call security on him. I raise my voice. I want this. I want that. Because they respect me. At the end of the day, I'm more delicate.
Right,
I'm a woman. I'm more emotional. I'm more delicate. I'm louder. I'm more. And they understand that.
Yeah, but also in the bazaar, when I was just watching you, and it's not this. I mean, what some people would see as the role of the female of being quite subservient and oppressed, and you're there like joking with them, making fun of them.
I mean, it's not like police would come and like, you don't have a scarf, you gotta wear it. No, there is no such a thing.
Right.
Even our police, everybody are respectful. Nobody would it's the rule of the country to wear a hijab.
Sure.
But nobody gonna disrespect you or treat you bad because your hijab fall off.
Yeah.
But people expect you to wear it.
Sure. Yeah.
Just like this.
Yeah.
Nice and hijab can be very fashionable.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You've also lived overseas as well, no?
Yes.
Yeah.
Europe a little bit, North America a little bit, Dubai, then Tehran, and finally Shiraz. And I think this is the last stop.
Yeah.
Because I don't find myself as happy in any other places I've been to.
Why do you think that is?
Because first of all, the weather. I love this weather. I mean, it's so clean, it's so nice. The bird always singing. I mean, you don't have that anywhere else. You gotta leave the cities in order to. But Shiraz is a big city and still you have birds singing. And people are very, very hospitable and kind and giving in this city. I love Shirazi people. I mean, I go to the bazaar and the guy doesn't know me and I don't know him and I'm like, okay, I don't have my bank card on me and I want to buy this. Like, take it, you bring it later.
Yeah.
I mean, where do you get this in the world?
It's beautiful. Yeah.
I mean, the world is becoming this, robotic kind of place, and you don't see that humanity touch anymore.
The hijab is a complicated, contentious and very personal subject, and I can really only speak about my experience as a tourist wearing one. Personally, I don't believe a woman's dignity is defined by her dress, but I understand that it is a painful symbol of oppression for some women and very meaningful to others in this world. And if this is what is required by law to visit Iran, and I am a guest, then I will respect it. Because the alternative is to avoid Iran. And in a way, you know who this punishes? I think it punishes the women, all these highly curious, highly educated females with degrees, with businesses, because many of them work in tourism, women with a desire to engage with the outside world. Faranak is fortunate to have lived in Canada, Dubai and Europe, but many Persian women have great difficulty to ever get a visa to travel or ever live abroad. So if I have to dress slightly differently for a couple of weeks on holiday, but the reward is experiencing the magnificent kindness of Iranian people, learning about their culture, doing a tiny part to fortify a human connection between the West and the Middle East, instead of relying on governments and media, both with their own agendas, to decide who I should show kindness to, then I believe that's worth it. I've certainly got so much more to learn about Iran and the Middle East, but I'm trying to study the political history, and the more I study, the more confused I become, because it isn't so black and white. There aren't just heroes and villains. So I thank you for coming along this journey with me, and I hope that we can move towards a world of greater empathy, curiosity, and kindness.